Savita, do you know the fundamental needs of the humans?
Yes, we need oxygen, water, shelter, clothing.
Okay, but there are some more fundamental needs. Our children are here to specifically tell us more about one of our fundamental needs, the light. The human's mind has been on a never ending quest for knowledge ever since we appeared on earth. We can say this quest was powered by curiosity and necessity. Even though the light has been for billions of years, how did humans realize the significance of light? Is light really important to us? What happens when there is light in all the darkness? Can we live without light? These are just some of the questions that arises in the curious minds of our children every day. Today's program is to answer all those questions. Who better to answer these than the children themselves? After all, one tiny light can show the way. One tiny child can change the world. Presenting to you Jeevanada Belaku, the light of life, performed by the lower elementary children. Sit back and enjoy.
In all this darkness, don't I look as the ray of hope? Look at me, I'm glowing. Do you know who I am and what I'm doing on stage today? Well, I and my friends are here to tell you the story of humans and how they discovered fire and light. In the very beginning, there was nothing except darkness and coldness. There was a giant fiery ball which was moving quite fast in the vastness of space. It contained all the things we see around us. From this fiery ball, the sun and the earth were formed. But there was no life on earth until a small blob of jelly appeared. From the tiny blob of jelly, life started experimenting, and finally came the special creatures called the humans.
These humans did not look like any of the other creatures. They didn't have big teeth or claws or fur on their body, but they had three gifts: hands to work, mind to think, and a heart to love. And with these gifts, humans created everything that we see around us.
These early humans were hunters and gatherers, and they used to follow the sun for their daily activities. During the days, they used to hunt and eat. As the sun set, they would retreat to the caves and rest. The nights were cold, dark, and unnerving. Can you imagine a life like that now? As the saying goes, necessity is the mother of all inventions, and these early humans had necessity for fire and light. Let us see the journey of humans in the discovery of fire and light. We were still living in caves. We may have been able to speak a few words, but not more. One cold evening, a boy and his brother were out gathering some fruits for their dinner. It was very dark and the air was still. And then suddenly there was a flash of lightning. Then a peal of thunder was heard. They stood still in fear. The next bolt of lightning set a nearby tree on fire. Fire spread widely. They found some shelter and waited till the fire died out. Slowly, the boy realized that he wasn't feeling so cold anymore. Was it because of the fire? He wondered. He wanted to take back some of the fire to warm up his cave. He and his brother went closer to the glowing embers and looked at them with curiosity. As he tried to touch them, he realized, ouch, these can't be carried with bare hand. Maybe he can carry it with some twigs and leaves? As he carried the embers, he sensed that they felt warm, but they were also dying out quickly. But it got him thinking and wondering how he can make it too. figured out how to make fire all by themselves. But the curious mind of the humans didn't stop with just using the fire for light. In some part of the world, the humans tasted a deer cooked by the forest fire, and they loved it. Maybe that is how they got the idea of cooking the animals they hunted and making it delicious. They soon, they soon realized that the fat drippings from the animals also burnt well, and soon we had the earliest lamps and torches. These ancient oil lamps were made out of stone and shells. They used animal fat because they realized that it burns it. Later, they even used moss soaked in animal fat to fashion the lamp.
Now that there was light and heat in the cave, when humans had time, they wanted to do something for their minds also. They were no longer happy being just hunters and gatherers. Humans developed the need to communicate, explore, and create. Many evolved inside many caves tells us a story about them. They traveled all over the world and carried with them the knowledge to make fire and the materials needed for making fire. Some of the earliest lamps were made with of clay, bronze, etc. We still use them even today. They're made with different materials. They found different types of oils to light these lamps.
Shall we take a look at some of the oldest civilizations in the world and how light was used by them? Can you imagine a world without a wheel? No wheels means no cars, no trains, and no machines. We should thank the ancient Babylonians for their pioneering inventions like the wheel, the chariot, and the sailboat, and for making the world's first map on a clay tablet. Take a look at how fire was considered sacred by the Babylonians.
Look, that's planet Jupiter. Can you see the rings around it? Please note it down.
Okay. Sir, it's time to carry the sacred torch around the town. Please come, let's go. In ancient Egypt, they twisted the weeds' fibers and soaked them in tallow, which is a kind of animal fat. Then they would have the outer hollow container tapered down so that they could hold them.
Ouch, my hand is paining. Ouch, my hand is paining. Ouch, my hand is paining. Ah, idea.
Later, they got fed up of holding the torches all the time. So someone thought, why not just keep the torches on the wall? Then there won't be any need to carry them. Don't we use this idea even today? It was during the Han Dynasty that the Lantern Festival began. Emperor Ming of the Han Dynasty noticed the monks would light lanterns in the honor of their gods. As a result, he ordered all the households to light lanterns in the evening.
Bishu.
The rite was later adapted by the general population and spread throughout China and other parts of Asia. The Indus Valley Civilization was one of the three early civilizations of the Near East and South Asia. In this civilization, which is named after the river Indus, people lived in baked brick houses and planned cities. These cities even had underground drainage systems. They used small oil lamps and even had street lights. Sadly, we don't know much about the Indus Valley people because we can only deduce from the objects they left behind, and we cannot understand their writing.
Malia. Yes, Father. We need more candles. Please go and get some beeswax for making them. Yes, Father. Hey, stop the thieves, stop the thieves.
By now, candles are commonplace throughout Europe. Humans started using candles made out of animal fat or whale fat, but it was a smelly, smoky affair, so humans continued seeking other sources to make candles. In the Middle East, beeswax was the dominant material used for candle making. Beeswax was often imported from long distance. For example, candle makers from Egypt used beeswax from Tunis. Imagine beeswax traveling a distance of 2,000 kilometers. This made these smell-free beeswax candles quite expensive.
Wait. Aren't bees imported for an ecosystem? We don't want to hurt them. We want to use their honey and wax sustainably.
Hey, wait. Why are you getting lighted up? That's why they were careful only to use old abandoned beehives to extract the beeswax. And the humans' search for other sources of fire and light continued.
Around 200 years ago, they say a young man named William Murdoch was watching idly as coal dust was put on the kitchen fire to damp it down. To his surprise, the dust burned brighter when it got hot. Approaching gingerly, he thrust a lighted sliver of wood into the midst of the smoke. The smoke burst into flame. Gas lighting was born. Murdoch's own house was the first to be lit by gas. Unfortunately, Murdoch did not patent his system and so did not earn any money from it. Later, gas lighting was used to light the street lights in America and Europe. Around 150 years ago, humans started drilling to find the petroleum and extracted an oil called kerosene from it. They developed lanterns and started using kerosene to light these lanterns. Later, they used glass to protect the flame from air. You know, my great-grandmother said that when she was a young girl, her village in Uttar Pradesh used to have kerosene lamps. They had people whose only job was to clean and take care of the lamps in her village.
ये साफ करके देंगे? हाँ. एक किरण काफी है जिंदगी रोशन करने के लिए।
खुद पे विश्वास चाहिए अंधेरे से लड़ने के लिए।
पढ़ने का समय हो गया। The search for light from other sources continued. Scientists across the world experimented the hardest light and take it to the masses. The basic idea of using electricity to create light was first investigated over 200 years ago by the English chemist Humphrey Davy. But US inventor Thomas Edison is often credited for inventing the first light bulb. But do you know that it took 50 years to perfect the idea? Edison has many patents under his name, and one such patent is of the incandescent light bulb. He made 1,000 unsuccessful attempts at inventing the light bulb. Once, a reporter asked him this.
Mr. Edison, how did it feel to fail 1,000 times?
I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. Shall we travel to India now? Do you know which is the first Indian city to get street lights?
Chennai, Kolkata, Bangalore.
That's right, it's Bangalore. But for this, we need electricity, right? In 1900, a team of Royal British engineers approached the Diwan of Mysore, Seshadri Iyer, with the proposal of building a hydroelectric plant on the Kaveri River and the Shivanasamudra Falls.
ಶ್ರೀಮಾನ್ ಶೇಷಾದ್ರಿ ಅಯ್ಯರ್ ಅವರೇ ಕಾವೇರಿ ನದಿಯ ದಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಲವಿದ್ಯುತ್ ಸ್ಥಾವರ ನಿರ್ಮಿಸಲು ನೀವು ನಮಗೆ ಸಹಕರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೇವೆ.
Of course, Mr. Stanley and Mr. Ha. But first, let me take a look at the plants. Mr. Ha, can you explain the plants to me?
Of course.
They wanted to generate electricity for the Kolar goldfields, but they had enough energy left over that a British engineer, William McCutcheon, got the grant from the Mysore Maharaja to use it to replace the existing gas lights into incandescent bulbs in the KR Market area of Bangalore. And so it was that on Saturday evening, August 5th, the KR Market area of Bangalore saw their street lights, up with over 100 street lights. This was not just the first street lights in India, but in all of Asia. Can you see how far we have come? From the dark caves to the oil lamps, kerosene lamps, and finally to the bulbs. In this long journey of life, humans realized the power of light and started giving it a spiritual value. Fire and light became sacred. Some believe that the fire is a gift from the heavens. We all know the Olympic torch is lit several months before the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games at the site of ancient Olympics, Olympia, Greece. The high priestess performs a celebration at the Temple of Hera, in which the first torch of the Olympic torch relay is kindled by the light of the sun. Its rays are concentrated by a parabolic mirror. He takes the flame and gives it to us. It is carried all the way to the host country and used to light the Olympic flame at the opening ceremony.
Who doesn't recognize the Statue of Liberty? The Statue of Liberty's torch lights the way to freedom, showing it the path to liberty. Even my name represents the most important symbol, liberty enlightening the world. I am going to tell you something which you are not going to believe.
What is it?
On January 17, 2021, Ganori Tanta village in Mountain Doda district of Jammu and Kashmir saw the light of an electric bulb for the first time on Sunday, ending the decades of darkness from the lives of the villagers.
You know, it's better late than never.
When the whole world was changing, there was one aspect that never changed in the lives of humans. What is the one constant that we had during all these changes? Wondering what I'm talking about?
ரொம்ப சூடா இருக்குல்ல. இந்த விளத்தை வச்சு நம்ம எதாவது பண்ணலாமா? ஐடியாவா, நம்ம 2 பேர் போகலாம்.
It is the sun! The sun has been the only constant, and solar energy, which is today's resource for a brighter tomorrow.
Today we have seen so many inventions, so many discoveries, so many challenges overcome. Each change, each progress took someone to dream about it and then do whatever it takes to make it happen. No matter how many times they had to fail, no matter how many times they had to try. After all, only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly.
It's a world of laughter, a world of tears. It's a world of hopes and a world of fears. There's so much that we share that it's time we're aware. It's a small world after all. 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 It's a small world.
amongst us.
We are not just any creatures, we are bioluminescent creatures. The light that we spoke about all this while lives within us. And we are here to remind you that nothing can dim the light that shines within. Shine on, humans, with the light of life.